Well, welcome back to Thoughts While Thinking. And remember, these opinions are mine and mine alone and nobody else's. And that's the way we like it. That's the way we want to keep everybody out of trouble, except me. And I want to stay out of trouble too because I don't want to be in trouble. I don't like trouble. I like smooth sailing. And we're going to be rearranging some of my prejudice, and I think we're going to kick some out of the way and do some real thinking. And I think we're going to be in that 2% that does that real thinking. And I think that we're going to get past that judgment and start thinking because we don't want to be judging. We just want to be thinking our thoughts and passing them on to you. And I hope they're good thoughts. And while I'm thinking in these thoughts that we are thinking, we're talking about Hollywood and how they try to influence our lives and stuff. And we like their movies and we like their acting and we pay them lots of money and we make them rich because we do like all that stuff. And that's the way it is. And we don't care about what they think because they don't live in the real world. They live in a world of fantasy. And they will get out here in the real world and try to tell you what the real world is, and they don't even know. And they want to save the planet. They want to save the children. And pretty soon they're going to be wanting to save the pedophile. And they sit there and they condemn the NRA for our hunting guns that we go hunting with. And then on the movies, they got all those big guns and they have them all strapped over and they kill thousands of people in one swipe and one pull of the trigger and all that stuff. And then they win a award on that movie and then they get the award and they say, we got to take a stand against guns. Now, what kind of hypocritical stuff is that? And they take that award and they make a big swoop and they just try to wipe out anything that's not on the left. And that's all, they use somebody like Trump or the Republicans or something, but they're taking a swipe at all of us gun owners out there because they think they know what we're thinking because we spend money and buy their movies about all that stuff. So they keep painting themselves in that corner, and they keep pushing and making money off of those big gun violent movies, and they keep hollering gun violence, and they keep showing all that ridiculous differences there. And we just have to watch all that stuff, and we don't care about their opinion because they live in a different world, but they want to make you think that they're in the same world you are, but they're not. They're in their fantasy land. And I run across this cartoon and I thought it was really funny and I like it. And it's about Jane Fonda. She says, "Oh, I just can't breathe in this as long as Trump is president." Well, this old Vietnam guy, he sits over there and he says, "Well, you can always go back to Vietnam." But I think that's kind of funny. It may be kind of cruel, but I still think it's funny. That's part of my thinking, and if it offended you, I apologize. But anyway, it looks like we slipped past 1984, and it didn't take effect till about 2010, because that's when we really started doing it. Just thinking about evil being good and good being evil and all that, and war on police and all that stuff, and worshiping the big father in Washington. And and that reminds me that we've been talking a lot about Supreme Court justices the last couple of years because we've had some other openings and we got a lot of controversy going on it. And right now they're trying to kill some of our Supreme Court justices because they don't think they like what might be coming down the pike. They don't know what's coming down the pike, but they're trying to make that difference. So they're just trying to sway who makes it. And these guys here, they're arguing whether they want WikiLeaks or they want Hollywood. Well, I want somebody that's a constitutionalist, somebody that'll be selected under the Constitution the way it was designed to be selected. And that's all I want. I just want it to stay there. And out there in Hollywood, they're hollering equal pay. And they don't have equal pay in Hollywood. and it's what they're catching on to because they're in this world of fantasy is it ain't equal pay. They're talking about is equal results, and they want equal results, and regardless of equal work and equal effort and stuff. That's what they're hollering about is equal results. I'm all for equal pay. I'm all for difference in the results because some of us work harder than other people, and some of us work harder than we do. So that's the way we get paid, and that's the way they make money. In Hollywood, the ones that work harder get paid more, and that's the way it is. And Hollywood takes advantage of us capitalistic free enterprise system, and they sit out there and they call their big investor, and he says we got a script here that insults a 3-year old, and we got plenty of guns and violence in it, and we're going to produce it cheap, and you're going to make a fortune. Well, that's the way it is, and we're going to pay a fortune to them. We're going to like that movie. We're going to watch it, and we're going to listen to all that fake news and stuff out there on the social media and that stuff, and we're going to fall in that hole. And when we fall in that hole, it's just like a trap. We ain't going to get out. And Facebook's was claiming they're cleaning up their act and quit censoring, and everybody knows better because they pulled that curtain back. And it brings up about how all that fake news come about back a couple of years ago when Trump was president. You know, they'd spin that wheel every day, and that's all you'd hear. One day it'd be Trump was a racist, Trump was a KKK, he was a Russian, he was this and he was that. They didn't pay no attention to it. They just all got on the same bandwagon and sort of preached the same narrative. And the left sits there and holds our republic capitalist system around the neck and says it's a great country you got here. It's a shame what it'd be without it, and that is a threat. And during that time all the fake news on Trump and stuff, the Taliban's blowing up uh, England and France and stuff, and all they could do is holler about a Trump being a mean tweet, and they don't wonder why in the world what the world is gonna do to get on the news. That shows you how that was, and all of the Facebook and the social media and the mass media were all in the same boat pushing that same thing, and they were pushing fear. Over the past 2 or 3 years, we've been pushed more fear than you could believe. I don't think we've ever been pushed so much fear. We've had all this fear that we've got, and they created that panic through that pandemic, and they kept us apart, and they had us run on toilet paper. We run out of toilet paper, then we run out of oil and gas, then we run out of baby food. We just run out of it all in the last couple of years, 2.5 years or so. And it all started when they isolated us on staying home. That little project worked. And we didn't communicate with anybody. We didn't talk to our neighbors, so we couldn't discuss what was going on. We just listened to the TV and the radio and stuff for all that time because we were bored. We didn't have nothing else to do because we were locked in at home, and we were just being preached to day and night about how awful all this stuff was. So we marched to their drummer because they had us scared to death. The social media, the mass media, and all of it was all tied into that deal about all that fear. And that fake news was killing us, and it's still killing us because, you know, that fake news is killing our Constitution, it's killing our liberties. And if under socialism, uh, the only guys that's going to benefit a whole lot from that and the get bigger and fatter are the multimillionaires now. They're just going to make it even worse and worse for us people down here on the bottom. And they'll be sitting up there in the high castles eating high on the hog, and you're going to be down here rooting for worms and acres with the hogs. That's the way that socialism works. That's the way it's designed, and the TV is scaring you to death, so you run toward that deal so they can control you, so you'll march to their drummer. And they fear that you'll be speaking up, and they fear that you won't comply, and they fear you realize you don't need them, and they fear you realize and have the power, and they realize you using that power, and they fear you getting other people to wake up and use that power. They fear you not fearing them, and that's the left's fear, and that's the way it is. And some of my thinking right now. But to suppress free speech is a double wrong. It violates the hearer as well as the speaker. And that was from a former slave, Frederick Douglass, back in 1860. And that's what we got to think about now is how they are just stomping on our free speech. And sometimes we have to hurt in order to grow. And sometimes we have to fall in order to grow. And sometimes we have to uh, lose in order to win. And sometimes we have to learn from through all of our pain. And that's the way it is. That's what happens to us. We just got to pick up our hurts and move on. And that's where we are right now. We got to move forward on that. And you got to, blaming guns for that mass shooting is just like blaming AAA for the DWI driver. Right? That's about as much sense as it makes to me, and I think I'm thinking like that. And so anyway, it's adios amigos, and we'll see you on the flip side, and adios.